Howdy Google Ads fans, and welcome back. In the previous lecture we were talking about how we want to tell Google to treat our daily budget. And that gets involved with time and hour of day and ad scheduling and bid adjustments, but we're not going to talk about all of that right now. We'll talk about that when we get into ad scheduling. But I do want to quickly show you how you could see how your campaigns, ad groups, keywords have been performing based on certain hour of the day. So here we are back in a live Google Ads campaign, and we're going to go over to Ad Schedule. If you click on Ad Schedule over here in the secondary vertical navigation towards the bottom, we'll see a breakdown of all the different stats based on different times of the day. So I could again sort this report by any metric that I'd like. If I want to sort this report by cost, where have we been spending the most amount of money, again, sorted by cost. And I can see that Sundays all day has the greatest amount of spend on average, followed by Mondays, so on and so forth. But let's say I want to see hour. So I'll head over to the top and select hour from this horizontal menu. And now I see all the different statistics, all the different dimensions broken out by hour. So I could see 12 to 1, 11 to 12, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And if I read across, I could see how many clicks we got during that time frame, interaction rate, which is usually click-through rate. Again, this is not the column set that I typically like. We'll talk about columns in another lecture. Cost, conversion rate, all those sorts of things, all the different metrics that I'm looking at. And of course, we can customize these columns to show all the different metrics and the things that I want. I could download this data into Excel and run pivot tables to see which times of the day have performed the best for me. Say I want to filter. Say I see that my average conversion rate is 11%. Maybe I want to see which hours of the day have a higher than average conversion rate. So I could click filter, and I could look at performance, or I'm sorry, conversion rate, and I'll look at, I'll go over to conversions, conversion rate. Conversion rate is greater than, let's say, 11.2%. And now I'll have a report that shows me all the times of the day that have an above average conversion rate, because I know that my average is at 11.1, and I can see the average of all the above average is actually 33.7. So interesting. So now I'm actually walking you through some very specific optimizations and some techniques. You should be taking notes here, people, of really good ways to optimize the spend in a campaign. So now I'll be able to see, okay, here are certain hours of the day, certain time segments that are performing really, really well. I could sort by conversion rate. Again, you want to detect for anomalies. And then I can go back into my ad schedule. And for my ad schedule, I could go and add bid adjustments. I could increase bids during certain times, decrease bids during certain times, remove bids, and we're going to talk about that in a future lecture. I just wanted to show you how you could see that. One other area that's actually pretty cool from a high-level perspective to see how your campaigns are performing during certain times of the day is to simply go back to the campaigns overview. And of course, you could be under search campaigns, display campaigns, shopping campaigns, or all campaigns, and we're going to segment. Instead of going into our separate time ad schedule report, we're going to click on this segment button over here above the performance report, go down to time, and I can select hour of the day, month, quarter, year, day of the week. And in our case, because if we're sort of assessing what's going on with this accelerated budget versus the standard budget setting that we talked about in the previous lecture, I want to break down hour of the day because that's where these settings really affect. We're talking about daily budgets and daily delivery settings. That's what the settings we configured in the previous lecture. So I'm going to go ahead and click hour of the day, and it's going to break down each of these campaigns, and it's on army time, so 0 to 23. And I can take a look here at every single one of these campaigns. How have the campaigns performed throughout certain hours of the day? So for example, if your budget is small enough and the daily amount of impressions is large enough and you're on accelerated, you might see something like 0 to 10, you're getting activity, you have clicks and impressions, then 11 a.m. and on, it just trails off, you're showing zeros across the board. And if you see that, then you know that, let's say that budget was $100, that I could spend $100 until around noon, which means I could probably spend another $100 in this campaign for the rest of the day without changing anything else. Of course, if you add more keywords, that equation changes, because then you might run out of budget at 7 a.m. or 9 a.m. depending on which keyword you add. Of course, if the dynamics in the competitive landscape changes, that could change. Of course, if your click-through rate improves, that could change. If your click-through rate improves, you might run out of your budget even earlier. See how that works? Another thing is that you might actually get different performance at different hours of the day. So while you might be able to spend $100 and get 100 clicks at $1 a click until noon, or let's say until 11 a.m., the clicks might get expensive or they might get less expensive throughout the second part of the day, all depending on the dynamics of the auction. And we're going to talk about the dynamics of the auction, how the auction in Google Ads actually works, how your bids are evaluated, how your max CPC works, how Google actually charges you, how click-through rate and quality score all play into that equation. But just know there are all these different variables that could affect it. But the point is, if you want to get a brief overview of your hour of day performance, go in, segment out by hour, or go check out your ad schedule report and navigate over to the hour area so you can see a breakdown of how things are performing by hour. That will inform when and what decision you should make about your ad delivery settings, whether you want to be on accelerated or standard. And again, just to finish off, I do recommend almost all the time being on accelerated at the beginning in a brand new campaign. That's it for this lecture. I look forward to seeing you guys very soon in the very next lecture.